Right. Welcome. My goodness. It's been a long time, everyone. But thank you all for joining me. It's been a lot. I've been going through a lot over these past few months. And just to let you know, it's been a whole lot. So with that said, I want to get back on track and letting you all know what's happening, what's the latest and greatest. If you are not on my email list, please make sure you get on my email list because there's lovely discount codes for you. I am teaching a class every week, and I am guest teaching in some slots, so I'm super excited. Of course, I still have my partnership with Starship, so I will be teaching every month with them. This Saturday, you will see me at the Starship of Warner Robins, where I will be talking about couples, connections, the chemistry, how to use technology and toys to enhance your beautiful and amazing love life. Also, too, I just wanted to say that I am now, you see, at, hopefully can start on time around 1 p.m. For this Love Tip show. I kind of want to do a more afternoon delight situation in that I want to ensure that like I have time to do this. So I was doing it Mondays at 9 a.m., which was fun and great. But I want to move to the afternoon time, see, if people are on their lunch hours or whatever, or maybe you're on the West Coast and you want to do a little mid-morning, get some little mid-morning thing that might be helpful. But I just wanted to say, hey, and show my face again and let you know that despite all the things that are happening in my life that have just come to, blowing up, I still want to show up and make sure that I am doing the thing that I am most passionate about, which is helping people with their love lives, helping people get their joy and pleasure out of life, and to ensure that you have the advice you need to make sure your life is fantastic. So today or this week, if you are on my email list, I talk about wet romance, or what it means to be sort of drenched in desire, right? And so my camera stop here. I like to move. And so I think it's great if you want to create sort of sensual, playful ways around the water, right? I love the water. I love being in the ocean. It's just so healing with the salt, and it's just sort of, it's really sexy. And even in like hot tubs, being in a hot tub, especially now, I know it's cold everywhere. It's cold here in Florida. I know people are iced out, snow, everything. So it's like, thinking about, the coldness, the hot tub is going to be a great way. But even like a nice steamy shower is also a really great way for you to get into what you want to do, right? Those seductive encounters, how to use water in such a romantic and erotic way that it feels good, right? Even if you have like a big warm bathtub, right? Having like nice, beautiful, hot, warm bath water, make a romantic scene, right? There's so many different ways to enjoy water. And so, thank you that you plan to dive more into my site. I appreciate that. So there's kissing and dancing in the warm rain, which is really fun. Oh, I was at Hedonism in Jamaica, and Parrish and I, we were just like hugging and kissing on each other, and it was so beautiful. And it was just like, when you get a chance for warm rain, just perfect. But there's like a reason, right? There's so many like love stories or things that happen where they feature like a rain-soaked kiss, right? Rain's coming down. And thinking about how rain makes you feel, the raindrops sliding down your skin, the contrast between the cool droplets, the heat of your bodies, right? It's the perfect balance, right? Of passion and nature. So if you're trying to like curate this romantic moment, I definitely suggest dance first, kiss later. Because sometimes when you start kissing, you want to get all the way into the kissing, and it's so much better to dance first. So get the dancing, get that going. That's part of the foreplay. That's part of the seduction. And then when you get to the kiss, that can, help you move further along, right? If you're going to be kissing and dancing in the rain and you're going to be like out in public, you want to make sure you wear some light clothing. You don't necessarily want to have, super dark clothing or super heavy clothing, like a lot of us are in now with this ice. But, a flowing sundress, a thin dress shirt, so, something sheer, something light linen, something you want that kind of experience to kind of sort of, as the water clings to your body, you want to see how it moves on your skin, right? There's also sort of the whisper between kisses, right? The sound of the rain can be really, really intimate. So you could use it as a backdrop or, because it's, even nice to like go to sleep to, right? It's so relaxing. So whispering, sweet nothings in their ear while the rain drops, beautiful moment. But also definitely have some hair care considerations, as y'all have seen, or you see now if you are watching and can see me. I am growing out my hair. So if you are thinking about, or you're mindful about natural hair care, any kind of protective styles or any kind of post-rain rituals can help keep the experience enjoyable without any unwanted consequences that have to do with your hair, right? A lot of us don't like to get our hair wet. So just really being mindful of that. So that's not a stressor. Because when you have stressors, guess what? That's going to diminish your libido, your excitement. So you really want to think about these things ahead of time. But mostly, if you are out in some warm rain, like finding a secluded spot, a nice summer storm, if you can get out, out the country and find a place that's like warm, rain induced, it can be a perfect moment for that. You can also, like I said earlier, think about the hot tub, right? So they're not only the hot tub, but the pool as well, right? So if you are in a place where you have maybe an indoor heated pool or a pool, maybe it's summertime and you want to do some creative play, you can do this in a pool or a hot tub. So you can, tease each other with some floating kind of foreplay. You want to let the anticipation build, right? There's also some shallow water seduction. Okay, so pressing against the pool's edge, letting the water support your bodies while you explore those teasing motions. And then really just general hot tub pleasure, right? The warm bubbles that you get, like the jet bubbles, can create some ultra relaxing time. And then you can let your hands wander as you sit close, thinking about whatever fantasies that might pop up for you, or just reminiscing on any kind of times that you had that you were like, ooh, yes, I want to do that, right? Now, let's be mindful though. Here's a water safe tip. While water, intimate time looks really sexy in movies, you got to be mindful that water washes away natural lubrication, which can make things less comfortable, especially as you're aging. Okay. So use a silicone-based lube to help maintain that pleasurable glide in water. Okay. It's a heads up. Okay. Don't get in the hot tub or the pool without it. All right. You can also do, again, showers, romantic baths, right? Thinking about cleansing, caressing your lover in a steamy candlelit shower or a bath. Thinking about the contrast of the hot water against your skin. And just thinking about cleansing someone may make you feel good, right? It can be really deeply intimate, right? Trying to get in between all those different crevices that a lover has, right? So you can soap each other up. You can do some nice breath play with water. You can sit in the tub together with like scented oils or your bath bombs. Take turns washing each other. You can also do this by yourself, right? Like wet romance doesn't necessarily have to be with somebody else. Don't underestimate the pleasure of your own self-care bath and romancing yourself, okay? Adding music, your favorite waterproof submersible toy, or even a mirror, right? For some intimate like self-admiration. So you have that mirror, you can be beautiful, you can see yourself, and really get to self-pleasuring if that's something you want to do, or just really making the romance for yourself. You know what I mean? So but if you have, if that's kind of difficult for you, think about mobility friendly solutions like seated showers. Seats are always nice in showers, and you can do so much with seated showers. Any kind of adjustable like water pressure to enhance sort of comfort and accessibility. If you have one of those shower things that you can, take off the shower and move all around, that's also really great. But just understand, like exploring different positions that work for both partners' needs or all partners' needs is going to be your best bet. There's even like some really fun shower like pillows. So like you can do like inflatable pillows that you can have in the shower, like to help with like your knees or any kind of accessibility issues that you might want to have if you're exploring romance and shower play or bath play in that sense. If you are a little kinky, there's all sorts of wet and messy kinks for you if you want to get a little down and dirty. So, these are really great opportunities for arousal, for power exchange, or kind of like sensory indulgence if this is something that like you want to like, take in. So people who want to do golden showers or water sports, and that could be about anything. It could be about submission, control, sensory pleasure. But mostly it's about trust and communication, things really needed to make water sports happen. There's also food play, splashing, or any kind of wet mess. So if you love the idea of like getting really messy or exploring with like chocolate syrup, whipped cream, fruit, or shower in the bath, or even thinking about like the juxtaposition of like flavors, scents, textures, those also add like fun and erotic twists, right, to your traditional romance. There's also wet clothing play. So that means wearing soaked fabric. So maybe that's lingerie, sheer tops. If you're like to be fancy with it all the time, you could, even business wear, you could wear and do in the shower, right? Just, it's all about how you are being creative with yourself and with your lovers, right? And even when the water is on the body, it's about like peeling off the layers, right? Slowly but surely getting those things done. So, but just remember this: consent and aftercare tips. Think about always communicating your boundaries before engaging in play. Have a plan for comfortable cleanup. So, warm towels, aftercare cuddles, proper hygiene, and then making sure you are hydrated. Okay. Please drink plenty of water before and after you're doing any kind of water sports to ensure the safety and comfort. Okay. So, in addition, there's always personalizing your wet romance, okay? By using, of course, the seduction learning styles, which are found in the Ultimate Guide to Seduction and Foreplay that Jess and I wrote together. So, there's different ways to kind of enhance those, right? So for auditory people, you can whisper your desires over the sound of the rain, right? For visual people, you could wear something sheer and wet to tease your partner, right? That's why there was like, I don't know, back in the days, wet t-shirt contests. Whatever happened to the wet t-shirt contest? Does anybody know? Has there been wet t-shirt? When was the last time there was a wet t-shirt contest? Something to think about for my next event. For tactile people, right? Like letting the fingers trace patterns in water along the skin, or even like using your fingers to kind of glide the water around the skin. And then also, if you're like more kinesthetic, right? You can move together under a spray. If you have a nice, shower head, maybe dancing together in the shower, that's going to help you kind of move and feel good and have the tunes on, right? It's going to make you feel good all over. So the point here is really kind of tailoring your experience to your natural seduction style. And we know that the wet romance can get even more immersive and more unforgettable. So what it's about is just surrendering to the sensuality of water. We know it's more than just getting wet. It's about feeling the wetness, right? It's about surrendering to the sensation, letting go of inhibitions, embracing intimacy in new ways. So whether you are like a person who's like, I love the warm rain, I love those raindrops, or maybe you love the weightless passion of like being in a pool or ocean, or even just thinking about like being underneath the water for a shower or bathing, whatever it is. Or maybe you're like, hey, maybe it's just the primal thrill of all the wet kinks, right? There's always something deeply erotic about water's ability to enhance our connection. So the next time it rains, which it has been doing a lot of lately, at least over here, try not to run for cover unless it's cold. Embrace the storm. If it's warm rain, slip into your tub with a lover and dive into the pleasure of the beautiful, amazing thing of wet romance. So after all, the best love stories are the ones that you leave drenched, of course. So cheers to y'all. Cheers to your sexual success. And if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. Next week, we will be talking about, because this month is all about creative romance. So next week, we'll be talking about kinky romance and what that looks like and what that actually means. Because what is romance anyway? And I can go into a deeper definition of romance because I was actually going over this with some folks who are aromantic. And I was like, when people say I'm not romantic or whatever, because I used to say that for the longest time of being like, I'm not romantic. But then I was like, well, what is romance really? And I thought about it and I was like, oh, it's about, creative, thoughtful, intentional ways of being intimate with someone. And, where you can dive deeper into that intimacy and vulnerability. So that is what romance is to me. And now that I think about it, I'm like, no, I think I can help create, those moments. So all that to say is get creative this month. This, of course, is Black History Month, but it is the love month. So let's think about romance and how we can enhance the romance. So again, we'll be talking about kinky romance next time. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to DM me. Make sure you download your erotic activity bucket list if you haven't already. And I will be having some guests on in a couple of weeks. So I'm super excited about that. So please stay tuned. And no, the time has changed to 1 p.m. on Tuesdays. And hopefully I'll be able to get back on to BFAM soon. So thank you all for joining me today for Drenched in Desire. And we will be talking to you next week. All right. Bye.